Jai Shri Gurudev. In this class, let us discuss the phylum Mollusca. Mollusca is considered the second largest phylum in animal kingdom because which contains about 80,000 living species and more than 35,000 fossil form in it. And most of them are aquatic species, in which majority they are marine forms and few are freshwater forms and some are terrestrial in their habitat. These group of individuals are called soft-bodied animals. The endoskeleton is lacking here and the animal is a soft-bodied, often which is protected by the exoskeleton, calcareous exoskeleton. The animal is a triploblastic, which means that which possesses all the three germ layers. They are coelomates. They possess true body cavity and which is filled with body fluid, which is known as hemocoel. They are bilaterally symmetrical. We can cut the animal into two equal halves at one particular plane, which is known as bilateral symmetrical. The exoskeleton is made up of calcium, that is calcareous shells. Often there will be univalve, that is single valve present, or there may be two similar sized valves are present, which is known as bivalve, as in case of union. The body of the animal is divisible into head, muscular foot, and the cavity, mantle cavity is made up of mantle and the tissue mass known as visceral mass. Head possesses the sensory organs like eyes, tentacles, along with that the digestive opening, that is mouth, also present. In some of these species, the eyes and the tentacles are absent or reduced form. Nutrition is both herbivorous and carnivorous. That means they both feed on the plant system as well as smaller animal creatures. The digestive system is a complete type which possesses a tubular alimentary canal and the digestive glands which secrete digestive enzymes. Circulatory system is open type. Here the circulatory system consists of heart, and heart directly pumps the blood into the hemocoel, that is the body cavity, and the organs are directly dumped in the hemocoel. There are no blood capillaries and blood vessels. That type of circulatory system is known as open type of circulatory system. Respiration or respiratory system includes which is various with the various species. That is, some of the animals could respire through the body surface and some with the help of mantle as well as the gills present in them, which are called ctenidia, through which they respire the dissolved oxygen present in the water. Excretory system is made up of the metanephric kidney, highly evolved form of a kidney that is metanephridia or metanephric type of a kidney. Nervous system possesses paired ganglions which are located in the head region, the foot and the visceral mass. Likewise, paired ganglia are present and each of the ganglia are connected by means of connective nerves or commissures, we can call it as, and the branches which arise from the ganglion are called the nerves. And nerve branches which supply nerve impulses to particular organ system. Reproductive system comprises the sexual dimorphism is very well versed in many of the species in this group and very few are hermaphrodite. Sexual dimorphism means, as we know, which is the single species can be represented by two individuals, that is male and female system. Hermaphrodite means both the reproductive systems, that is male reproductive system and the female reproductive systems are present within the same individual, which is known as hermaphrodite. Fertilization could be internal or external. In some of the species, fertilization is internal. That means mating is possible here and a male deposits its sperm inside the female reproductive system. That in that case the male and female gametes fused together or fertilized within the female reproductive tract. Whereas in external type of fertilization, male gives off its gametes, that is sperm, into the water media, and the female gives off its egg or lay their egg in the water media, where actually the fusion of male and female gamete take place. That type of fertilization is known as external type of fertilization. And majority of them show the direct type of development. The younger ones resemble the parent, and some are metamorphosis with the larval stage known as strokophore larva. And some of the examples are Poila, Unia, slugs, snails, octopus, sepia, etc. These are the species which are included under this second largest phylum, that is Mollusca. Let us go for the type study, that is a freshwater mussel, that is Bivalvia junio. Firstly, we will study the external morphological features of junio. This particular animal is a freshwater form which is found in ponds, lakes and river streams, etc. This particular animal measures about 5 to centimeter in their length. And when the animal is viewed from side, that is lateral view is oval in shape. But when the animal is viewed from the upper side, from that side, the middle portion of the animal or the shell is bulged, whereas the ventral side is somewhat tapered or narrower. The animal is a soft bodied animal and segmentation is absent, and which is mass of tissue present, and the soft bodied animal which is enclosed in a protective shield or the shell. There are two valves present in a shell, and they are of similar in their kind. They are similar structure and shape, and both of the shells, that is right and left shells, are hinged together or joined together by means of a tissue known as hinge ligament. These are elastic, non-calcareous tissues which are found along the hinge line at the anterior end of the animal, and which actually binds the two valves together, and the closing of the valve protect the animal inside. And this is the protective exoskeleton which is made up of calcareous content, calcareous cells or calcium content. In front of the hinge ligament, at this region, there is a white bulged structure present, and this bulged portion or white portion of the shell is known as ambo. Ambo is representing the earlier formed or first formed shell in the earlier stage, larval stage. And around the ambo, there are number of concentric circles or concentric lines present, and these concentric lines are known as the lines of growth, which represent the age or the growth of the animal. Two lines, concentric lines, which are far apart, that is, they are present at a distance, a larger distance, represent the faster growth of the animal due to the availability of the plenty of food. Suppose if the two lines are placed closer to each other, which represent the animal went for a dormant stage, that is during the winter time, during which dormant stage which suppress all the metabolic activity, and therefore development is hindered, and development is hindered, therefore the concentric circles are close to each other. And at the ventral side of the anterior end, there is a muscular foot which is the extension of the visceral mass. If we open the valves and we can see the inner surface of the valve, and in the inner surface of the valve at the anterior and the posterior end there are scars or the impressions seen, and these scars are the remaining or the representation of the attachment of the adductor muscles. Adductor muscle is the visceral mass of the body, the soft bodied animal get adhere to the valves by means of specialized tissues or the muscles known as adductor muscles, and these are represented in the valves, and those are anteriorly at this portion at the inner side of the shell there is a scar which is the formerly attachment of the anterior adductor muscle. In the similar way, at the posterior end, there is attachment for the posterior adductor muscle. This is the anterior adductor muscle and this is the posterior adductor muscle. The posterior adductor muscle is somewhat larger than the anterior adductor muscle. In addition to these two scars over the shell, three more small scars are present, and two of them are nearer to the anterior adductor. One is dorsally located scar, a dorsally positioned scar which is known as anterior retractor muscle scar, and another one is which is below the anterior adductor muscle which is the protractor. The similar way, above the posterior adductor muscle there is one more small scar present which is posterior retractor muscle. This is about the shell of the animal. When inside this shell there is a gelatinous transparent structure present which is known as mantle. This is the flap of mantle which exceed the valves or the shells. Likewise, the mantle covers the entire animal, and this mantle, in between the mantle there is a cavity exists, and the cavity is known as mantle cavity. In the mantle cavity, the visceral mass of the animal and the gills or the stacks of the gills are present, that is mantle cavity. And thus mantle cavity, the membranous structure of the mantle fold in such a way that at the posterior end of the animal, in such a way that which forms a tube and which is known as siphon. Siphon is nothing but a tubular structure. And there are two siphons, one is exhalant siphon, another one is inhalant siphon. The inhalant siphon is a wider, somewhat larger tubular structure and which is fimbricated at the border. The border is not even, which is furred like this or papillated structure present, that is inhalant siphon. Whereas the exhalant siphon is somewhat smaller and narrower without any fimbrication. Inhalant siphon. Through the inhalant siphon, the water enters from the outer environment and into the mantle cavity, and after the respiration the water is ejected out with the help of exhalant siphon. The mantle membranes, the membrane of the mantle fold in such a way that which form tubes, and these tubular structures are known as siphons, which form two tubes which are the exhalant siphon and the inhalant siphon. Inhalant siphon is a somewhat larger and which are fimbricated in the outer line, which is not even in the outer line, which is fimbricated like this. Wavy margin is present which is fimbricated structure, which is wider siphon, a larger opening will be there. Whereas the exhalant siphon is even and somewhat a narrower structure. Through this inhalant siphon, water get into the system, and after the respiration is over, water will be ejected out by means of a smaller siphon, that is exhalant siphon. And we could see the visceral mass present in this, that is above at the dorsal surface of the body, visceral mass is present. Visceral mass possesses all the vital organs of the animal, like the digestive system, the opening of the mouth present below the adductor muscle and the foot, and which leads into a digestive tract, and which is covered up by pair of digestive glands, that is the liver, the pericardium, blood vascular system is present, and there is a brown colored metanephric kidney present, and the posterior adductor muscle, and finally there will be opening of the digestive tract, that is the anus. Below this visceral mass, vital organs, there is stacks of gills present, which are the respiratory system, respiratory tenidia are present, and which are hanging at the mantle cavity, through which they respire. Water enter through the inhalant siphon, and which circulate here in this region in the mantle cavity, which encounter the gill or the tenidia, and the respiration will be over, and the remaining water will be ejected by means of exhalant siphon. This is about the external morphological features of Unio. In this, let us discuss the digestive system of freshwater mussel, that is Unio. Digestive system of freshwater mussel consists the tubular alimentary canal and the digestive gland. The alimentary canal is a tubular, muscular and long structure, which pushes the external opening, that is mouth, and leads into esophagus, stomach, and later into the intestine, and finally opens through another external opening, that is anus. The mouth is located in between the anterior adductor muscle and the foot. This is the foot, the extension portion of the visceral mass. This is the foot. In between the foot and the anterior adductor muscle, there is a transverse slit like opening present, which is the mouth. On either side of the mouth, two pair of labial pulps are present. The outer labial pulp, one pair of outer labial pulp and one pair of inner labial pulp are present at this region. Here it will be present, and the upper lip of the mouth connects with the outer labial pulp, whereas the lower lip of the mouth is fused with the inner labial lip, and there are no evidence of the teeth presence or the radula present in it, because this particular animal feeds on a small insects or small creatures. Therefore, there is no much need for the grinding equipment of the mouth. So, teeth or the radula are absent here. This particular opening, that is the mouth, leads into a short tubular structure known as esophagus. And this muscular esophagus opens into a large saccular structure. This is known as the stomach. Above, on either side of the stomach, a pair of digestive gland present, which is nothing but the liver. At the lower end of the stomach, there is a diverticulum, which is known as pyloric cecum or the style sac. The main function of the pyloric cecum is to produce enzymes for the digestion of mucoproteins, starch and the cellulose. The digestive enzymes are secreted in the glandular cells. And at the mid-ventrally, there is a tubular structure which arises, which is the intestine. The lower end of the, just in front of the style sac, that is pyloric cecum, in front of the pyloric cecum, there is a rise of the intestine, which is long tubular structure, which initially runs to the foot region, which coil, and once again which runs to the dorsal side and through the pericardium. that is pericardium is the circulatory system in between the pericardium which runs to the last segment of the intestine, that is the rectum. Rectum finally opens into the anal papillae and then into the cloaca and finally into the anal opening, that is the anus. This is about the alimentary canal. In addition to this alimentary canal, there is a digestive gland which is the liver. Digestive gland is present in pair on either side of the stomach, which is glandular cells which not only give off or secrete secretions meant for the digestion of the food, meanwhile which absorb or ingest the food which is present in the stomach. The small minute food particles are present in the stomach which will be ingested by the digestive gland, which will be broken, and the nutrition like fat, carbohydrate and protein will be digested and absorbed by this gland, that is the liver. And all the digested things are poured into the stomach by means of numerous tubular structure or tubules, digestive tubules are opened into this. The labial pulp which is present on either side of the mouth possesses the cilia, and the cilia, by the beating movement of the cilia, gather the food and which ingest the food into the mouth, thereby which help for the feeding. This is how food is ingested in the mouth and later conveyed to the stomach, where actually digestive enzymes from the style sac as well as from the digestive glands are poured and mixed up, and finally which is conveyed to the intestine where maximum absorption of the food take place, and finally the undigested food will be eliminated out of the excretory opening, that is the anus. This is about the digestive system of Unio. Let us discuss the nervous system of Unio. The nervous system in case of Unio is very much reduced due to the sluggish mode of the lifestyle of this particular animal, which is very slow, and therefore nervous system also reduced, which is not well developed. The central nervous system of Unio consists 3 pairs of nerve ganglions. One is located at the head region, which are the cerebropleural ganglion. Another pair of ganglia located at the foot called pedal ganglia. Pedal means a foot and pedal ganglia. Another pair of ganglia present in the visceral region, and that is the visceral ganglion are present here. There are 6 ganglions, that means 3 pairs of ganglion located in the head, foot and the visceral mass. Just below the anterior adductor muscle and near the on either side of the mouth, the triangular ganglia are present, which are the cerebropleural ganglion, and both of the cerebropleural ganglia are interconnected by means of a transverse nerve known as cerebral commissure. The right cerebropleural ganglia connected to the left side of the cerebropleural ganglion by means of a transverse nerve which is known as a cerebral commissure. The similar way, in the foot region there are 2 ganglion present called the pedal ganglion. They are rectangular in shape and both of them are closely associated, therefore which looks like a bilobed structure, bilobed ganglion, which is the pedal ganglion. This particular pedal ganglion have connection with the cerebropleural ganglion by means of a transverse nerve known as cerebropedal connective. The similar way, in the visceral region, visceral ganglia, rectangular ganglions are present, which is the visceral ganglion, which have connection with the cerebropleural ganglion by means of another pair of transverse nerve known as cerebrovisceral connectives. These are the connectives, that is cerebropedal connective and cerebrovisceral connective, connect the pedal ganglia with the cerebral ganglion and the visceral ganglion with the cerebral ganglion respectively. From each of the ganglion, nerve branches arise. Accordingly, the branch of the nerve arise for the anterior adductor muscle is the anterior adductor nerve, which is supply nerve impulses to the anterior adductor muscle. Similar way, a branch of nerve arise from the cerebropleural ganglion is labial nerve, which supply nerve to the labial pulp, which is present on either side of the mouth. And another branch is the anterior pallial nerve. This anterior pallial nerve supply the nerve impulses to the mantle region of the anterior side and the visceral mass present here in this region. The similar way, from the pedal ganglion there are pair of nerve branches arise. One pair is the pedal nerve. Pedal nerve sends message to the foot. Another pair of the nerve branch supply nerve to the statocyst. Statocyst is the balancing organ, group of cells present here and which supply nerve impulses to this region. From the visceral ganglion, numerous branchings of nerves arise. One is dorsal pallial nerve. Dorsal pallial nerve supply nerve impulses to the dorsal pallial tissues. Another one is posterior adductor muscle. This branch of nerve supply nerve impulses to the posterior adductor muscle. And another one more pair, posterior pallial nerve sends nerve impulses to the pallial tissue present here in this region. Similar way, branch of nerve arise from the visceral ganglion, supply nerve impulses to the renal system, that is the metanephric kidney, that is a renal nerve. Another nerve is the branchial nerve, which sends a message to the gills, which is present here in this region. This is about the nervous system, which is very much reduced. Very simple nervous system is present in case of Unio. Unio is a freshwater aquatic animal. Therefore, the respiration here in this animal is by means of gills. And the gills in case of Unio are called ctenidia. Gills in case of Unio are called ctenidia. There are pair of gills present. This is the ctenidia or the gills present on either side of the foot and the visceral mass, hanging down in the mantle cavity. This is the mantle cavity in which the ctenidia are hanging. This is one set. This one set or one pair of ctenidia present. And each of the ctenidia made up of gill plates, which are called lamina. The gill plates of the ctenidia, thus is the gill plate of the ctenidia are known as lamina. On the lamina, each of the lamina consists, for example, here this portion is enlarged here, and each portion consists the lamellae, which is represented here in the pink color, which is the lamellae, the outer lamellae and the inner lamellae. For this particular gill plate, this is the outer lamellae and this is the inner lamellae. For this is the inner lamellae and this is the outer lamellae. Therefore, each of the lamina consists the inner lamellae and the outer lamellae. And the lamellae are made up of gill filaments. The outer lamellae and the inner lamellae are made up of unit structure known as gill filaments. This bulged portion known as gill filaments. Thus, outer lamellae is connected to the inner lamellae by means of a tissue. This is the junction of tissue, which is known as interlamellar junction. this lamellae and thus outer and the inner get connected by means of a bridge of tissue known as interlamellar junction. In the interlamellar junction, there are blood vessels present, which are the interlamellar junction is innervated with blood vessels. And then the similar way, the filament in each of the lamellae, that is the gill filaments are present. These are the gill filaments, and each of the gill filaments are combined together, are fused together by means of, for example, this gill filament combines or fuse with this gill filament, this to next. Likewise, each of the gill filaments are fused by means of interfilamentar junction. If the outer lamellae and inner lamellae are fused by means of a tissue is known as interlamellar junction, whereas the filaments are fused together. Filament to filament connection is done with the presence of interfilamentar junction. This presence of interlaminar junction in this region and in this, which divide the chamber into numerous rectangular structures, are known as water tubes. This is one water tube is represented here. Likewise, number of water tubes are present. And this lamellae possess a unit known as gill filaments. One such filament is enlarged here, and which is made up of ciliary epithelial tissues. Ciliary epithelial tissues give off cilia, and there are three different kinds of cilia present, and those are lateral cilia, frontal cilia, and frontolateral cilia. And those are the cilia which are laterally present at this region and this region. These are called lateral cilia. Whereas those cilia which are present at the dorsal side or the front side, front end of the gill filament, which are called frontal cilia. These are the frontal cilia. In between the lateral and the frontal cilia, there are cilia which are elongated, lengthy in their structure, and they are called frontolateral cilia, which means this is the frontal cilia and this is the lateral cilia. In between these two group of cilia, there are lengthened cilia present here, and these are called frontolateral cilia because frontolateral cilia, or we can call it laterofrontal cilia. Likewise, this beating of these cilia bring about the water current. And the cilia which are present here in the gill filament continuously show movement, and that bring the water current. And the water current which comes from the outside environment in the water and get into the system. The cilia are beating here and the water gets into the inhalant chamber like this. And further the water is conveyed in between the gill filament into the water tube by means of an opening. There is a water comes here, and the beating of the cilia pushes the water inside this and further into the opening, that is the channel present in between the gill filament and into the water tube, and those openings are called ostia. This is how the respiratory system works in case of Unio. The beating of the cilia bring about the water current, and the water it gathered and it initially comes into the inhalant canal and later in, through the ostia, which get into the water tube, and from the water tube the water move in this way like this, and during which in the interlaminar junction there are innervations of the blood vessels present, and that is where exactly the exchange of the gaseous product take place. That is, oxygen will be absorbed and carbon dioxide will be given out, thus the respiration, and the used up water will be collected over here, and finally which will be ejected out by the exhalant siphon. this is the mechanism of a respiration take place in case of Unio.